Hey, everybody, it's Darius. I'm getting back with you. I want to bring Zach on board. Go ahead, Zach, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Zachary Dobbins, owner-operator. Been in the hot shot game for about almost 2 years. Been working with Darius as my dispatcher. We talk so much on the phone, we thought we'd put something together if other people want to listen as well, as we get into this pretty interesting topic. We talk about trucking a lot, ranges all the way from Bible talk, life in general, a lot of news, weather, stuff like that.
Well, Zach, I've known you for quite a while now and love you like a brother. You're real studious, sharp, and on your game and on point when you're running your freight and the way you approach your whole outlook to life. That's why I kind of wanted to do this with you, because our conversations, they're pretty broad. And if I would have had more podcasts like that on the road when I was driving to help me pass the time, it would have been more beneficial.
Yeah, I'd say a good 80% of my time on the road is spent listening to podcasts or some type of news or something, reading books. Okay. So it's just a good way to spend time down the road too. We can make a few episodes of the podcast while we're working during the week as well.
Oh, for sure. That's kind of interesting that we're talking about that video I saw the other day where a truck driver in New Mexico got pulled in for an inspection. And when the driver lowered his window, in full view was an iPad, and pulled up on it was YouTube, and it was paused. And he asked the driver, "You been watching that YouTube?" Put out a service for distracted driving. So honestly, audiobooks and podcasts are the way to go, guys. Don't get out there and watch no video. And in the future, if Zach and I drop videos, don't watch them when you're driving. Watch them when you're in your sleeper or when you're relaxing or you're getting something to eat. But please drive safely. You know what I tell you, Zach, about what the most valuable cargo you're carrying is, don't you?
Yeah, I try to just stay off video as much as I can. Not going to say it never gets done, but I definitely am not doing it when I pull up to a weigh scale, I'll tell you that.
The co-driver is my wife, and she would slap me upside the head if she caught me watching a video.
Yeah, I'm always by myself, so I try to be strict with myself, but I'm not going to say I never do it. Definitely never, not one time have I pulled up a fucking YouTube video on a weigh scale.
Right. Bonehead Truckers, I think that's actually where I saw it at. So a shout out to Bonehead Trucker, because I believe that was Bonehead for the day. That's for sure. I started watching a bunch of YouTube when I was parked at night, and it's how I kind of got more into the idea of doing podcasts and videos. I've done a few videos on how-to videos on dispatching and things like that and how to pass inspections. But, really, I think if I would have had something like this podcast to pass the time of the day and listen to, I would have been very excited to be able to plug into it.
I was just going to say I can put down probably in 1 week of driving, I'd say I can probably at least over 40 hours of podcast listening in a week.
Time to pay a few bills. We want to welcome once again PJ Freight Haulers for sponsoring this podcast. And if you happen to be interested in doing a little bit of sponsorship in any way that you can see fit, be sure to reach out to us. Right, Zach?
Yeah. So PJC is based out of Louisiana. They're a really good company. They actually helped me get started too in the very beginning. They really focus on cars out of Louisiana, but they can broker freight anywhere nationwide. So if you guys got a load that you need moved and you need it done by someone who's for sure not a double broker, someone you can trust, hit up PJC FRT through Darius, and they can get whatever you need to accomplish.
That's right. Matter of fact, it's Darius at pjcfrt.com. That's hit me on an email, give me a shout out, and we can get you in touch with Kimberly down there. And she definitely she works the broker side of PJ's division, and he runs the trucking side. I blast through on the dispatching side, so it's nice of him to be able to throw his support into this podcast. Hey, moving forward, Zach, how's the weather down in Austin?
It's pretty hot.
That's nice after all that rain you got last week.
Dude, I've seen some of the videos, how fast some of the rivers came up. It's pretty crazy, like in seconds or minutes almost, just came up like.
Actually, at least you're right. I saw an interview with the lady who runs the RV camp that got washed away, and she was at the water's edge at 2:30 and everything looked normal. She said she called the sheriff's department, 2:45. Everything was good. it was raining, but everything was good, and they had no idea anything was going to happen. Just be cautious. She went to sleep, and at 3:15, she was awakened by the ambulances and the fire trucks coming in because one of the campers had called 911 at 3:07. So within 2:45 to 3:07, those campers were being overtaken by water rising up inside them and starting to float.
Well, I don't want to just jump off the rails here and get our podcast started off with an aluminum foil tin cap or anything, but it's just a little strange that all this is going on in a few different locations around the country all at the same time.
Yeah, that is strange because I heard that New Mexico was having issues. South Carolina was having issues. North Carolina.
Oklahoma.
My wife says that all the time. She thinks there's definitely forces in play playing with our weather. And look, we got the tech. Let's be honest. We've
been cloud seeding for a long time.
They were cloud seeding in the 19th century with dry ice. Whether that was effective or not, I don't know. But mankind's been trying to play with his weather for a long time, for sure.
I also saw that this particular tragedy in Texas could have possibly been affected by DEI usage in the hiring of Austin's fire department. They have a couple of years ago they fired their head fire chief and replaced him with a black guy out of Atlanta, and turns out that he did not send resources down to Kerrville County or where that flood happened because he did not know what the word reimbursement meant. He thought his place out of Austin was going to have to pay for the resources because they had a couple of days notice they were going to send some resources down to that county. They didn't send the resources because he didn't understand that he was going to get reimbursed by the state, so he didn't want to spend his Austin money to send early resources down there to help them out. So DEI could possibly be a factor of all the deaths.
That is crazy. Fortunately, the governor and the National Guard and the federal government did mobilize rather quickly to get out there. Really, let's be honest, this was almost unheard of. While everybody should have been anticipating it with the drought, I would have thought the failure would have been nobody went out there and said, hey, we need to start training for this. We've been in a drought for 10 or 12 years. When it does rain, and it will eventually rain, we need to have some kind of emergency response. I live in Southeast Texas, down here where all the oil refineries are, and honestly, our first responders get together and they do joint task force emergency responses for mass casualty events, for fires at refineries. They're training all the time. But we do have the luxury of having a national fire school here in Beaumont. And so based out of that generates a lot of public awareness of the fact that all these training seminars are going on. But Zach, it's not that populated out there, and the roads aren't that big in some of those areas. I've been down there, and some of them roads are pretty winding. And even if you did have an immediate response, it takes time to get out there and to get in place and get in position, especially if you hadn't been training for it, right?
Yeah, and also my girlfriend had pulled up some sky footage of the camp, and it looked like the house where the little kids were staying in, or the cabin rather, was right on the water. So, with how fast that water came up, there was really no warning at that camp.
Yeah, they said 20.
Right on the corner. That water was coming around the slough, and it just kept going straight right into the cabin, it looked like, from what I saw. Yeah,
I think it said 27 feet in 45 minutes. And
that is insane.
And it don't take much to drown. You can drown in a wade pool.
Well, yeah, it's not water that you're trying to swim in either. It's mud, it's sticks. The thicker it gets, the harder it is to navigate through.
Yeah, I did see a video of a guy got swept off his feet in waist deep water by a log. He was reaching out to rescue somebody. The water was fast and strong, but he was managing it. He was navigating it pretty easily when that log popped up and knocked him down.
We were talking earlier. We know a few people that are actually down there helping sort through the debris right now. God
bless the responders, and prayers are with all the victims and their families. That's a tragedy. Hopefully we can take away something from it, and they educate some of the people in the area on how to respond, and maybe they can do some pre-training so they can get out there quicker. I think the early warning system, tornado sirens, why not have flood sirens?
All right, what you want to hit on next, Darius?
Yeah, moving forward. Zach, what are your ideas on what we're going to do with this podcast?
Well, I think it's going to naturally develop on its own. It's, it's nice that we do have the knowledge to offer people help with getting started, but I think we'll kill more time. The bulk of our podcast, natural conversation about daily events, news events, anything ongoing at the current time.
I see. And that's good. It'll bring a broader scope of audience in also. Well, you can't be everything for everybody, but look, my knowledge base is pretty broad like yourself. And right now we do seem to be focused on freight, because that's our chosen profession at the moment. But yeah, the other day, you and I, Zach, we had a good conversation on religion. I don't know. I think 2.5 hours passed, and that's where the idea of this podcast came from. I think that's great, right?
Yeah, a lot of people don't take the time out of their days to go to church or read the Bible. So talking with someone who's really knowledgeable and grew up in it and isn't getting, I don't know if indoctrinated is the right word, but it seems like our churches are becoming political these days. And we can talk more about that later, the evidence of that.
Those gates have been wide open. There should be a firm separation between politics and religion, I believe.
The good thing is that, there's plenty of churches to choose from, and it's not hard to figure out if your church has been compromised. If they ever bring up, political stuff in the middle of church, trying to talk down on someone political podcast or something, that's a good sign.
Well, that's not exactly what I signed up for when I joined into the broadcast, but it is what it is.
Well, those preachers are getting paid, but not most of the time they're getting paid by someone who reached out from them. And, whether that's right or wrong, that's their church's agenda. But I just think that it's real weird that churches are starting to get more political, because one thing that doesn't change is the Bible, so. I
agree. Well, yeah, we can have a broad range of topic. We'll move forward with this. I just wanted to take this time in this second episode to introduce Zach. Honestly, we don't have any ground rules or guidelines. We're not going to apologize. We're not apologists. We're not going to be apologizing for anything we say or do. We'll try to keep it tactful and legal and above reproach. That was something my dad always said. But if you join us, you're going to learn a little bit. You're going to laugh a little bit. And sometimes we're going to cry a little bit, but it just helped you get through the day, because I know it helps me.
Yeah, this is my first time doing anything like this. Hopefully I'll get better at talking as we go along with more episodes. It was fun. I did enjoy myself with you today, Darius, and hopefully we can do it again soon. Oh,
yeah. Looking forward to sharing more events with you. And for now, we're just going to cut it loose, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.